All right, we're flowing.
We are flowing. Where are we flowing to?
Good question. It feels like we haven't done this in a while, but it's only been a week.
I know because we had a guest.
Yeah, maybe that's what it was.
I love when we have a guest because it's such a different dynamic, and it's always fun to see how we all play off of each other and how we all make space for each other. Not only like the physicality of the actual speaking, but I see your wheels turning. I think you probably see my wheels turning when guests are bringing up different thoughts. It's kind of cool
Yeah,
to
I
be
just wish
like,
we could do it in person.
I
I
know.
just feel
Well,
like the vibe, especially with three people, two, it's a bit easier to do this.
yeah.
But when there's more than two, just being able to like knowing when to jump in without feeling like you're interjecting and stuff like that. I just feel like.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it was a great episode. I really enjoyed that. So, I mean, I've enjoyed all of our guests, but that was a good one.
We gotta keep our guests coming.
We got a bunch in the pipe. It's
Yeah.
just really I was waiting on scheduling, and obviously we've got to play around with that. But
Yes.
I think yeah, Q3 will be really good for guests.
Really good
Order
for
of play.
guests. And I love it for we were sharing pre-pod
Actually, we're in
where
Q3. What am I saying? Q4.
yeah, Q4. I selfishly, though, love our pod just for you and I to really just have a personal conversation that just happens to be recorded and going out worldwide for anyone that wants to listen to it. But it really is just this excuse to chat and connect every week, which
Yeah,
it's like our own little form of therapy.
it kind of is. And yeah,
Mhm.
therapy for everyone's entertainment.
Well, let's continue our catch up. You and I have both been in such transitional states,
Mhm.
and I think we're kind of coming to, I don't even know what we would call it. Like we've made some decisions, both of us. We're both moving forward in some specific directions, so there's a lot more clarity and purposeful action. Um I'm not ready to announce yet what I'm doing, but it is damn close and I'm super excited to talk about it.
Which is really funny because I don't know if you saw the reel I posted today.
Yes.
It was a clip from one of our episodes about
Yes.
3 or 4 months ago where I was basically saying the same thing
Yep.
that you're saying right now. And it was just really funny to look back at that and be like, yeah, see, it was all right, man. Like, because at the time, as I was like, oh, this is, I don't know if I should be doing this kind of thing.
Yep.
Um, I mean, thankfully, some of the choices were taken out of my hands, which was nice. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's so funny just reflecting on these transitional periods and then coming out. I wouldn't say I'm out the other side yet because I've still got a lot of building to do, but
Hmm.
just making that leap of faith and then seeing, oh, actually, I can fly. This is
Yes.
okay.
Oh God, there's some we could go down such a conversation with that right now. I did see it. I hearted it. I only listened to like the first 30 seconds because I was driving to get home.
You were
Um,
there.
yeah, I know. But that's to me, it's just this revalidation that like when you just said coming out the other side, it's almost like, are we ever really out the like what is the other side? And is it coming out the other side and then going back into something else? Like it's just this constant state of growth and questioning and honoring yourself and looking at opportunities, making decisions, um, adjusting priorities. I don't know that it ever really ends
Yeah,
until
you
we're in the
saying that it
ground.
kind of made me think it's more like you're just kind of digging a tunnel and then you hit
Yeah.
a rock and you've got a choice to go, or you're driving down a road and you've got a fork in the road and which direction to take.
Yeah.
And I think as long as you don't end up driving in a circle and ending back where you were,
Mhm.
that's really all. That's what life is, right? It's just a journey to continue improving and developing our souls and our,
Yeah.
who we are as people. I think that's really it. Yeah. So to your point, I don't really think you do come out the other side. It's really just a turn of phrase. But yeah,
Sure.
you don't really come out the other side because what is the other side? It's just your
Right.
next chapter.
And that's the old saying, right? It's not the it's the just it's the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Because we all have the same destination, and depending on your spiritual beliefs, maybe that's might look a little different if we were all having a conversation about the final destination. But it is about the journey. And then every single time I get to this kind of new level, this spiral up, this next opportunity, if I look back at some of the most painful moments that came before that, I am grateful for those moments, because without those moments, I never would have arrived at this place that I'm excited about.
Yeah, and that is kind of what prompted me to think about doing an episode about consistency.
Hmm.
I know we don't want to go there just yet, but just looking back at the path that led me to where I am now, and just why things feel so different.
Yes.
I think that uh, it was because of that. Just looking back and saying, right, you know, even the things that, and I even said to my, I heard your voice when I said it. You know, I was thinking about how I'm going to say some of the stuff today, and some of the endeavors that I failed in, and I heard your voice and say, no, if you say you failed, then you know that's so. Just I didn't get the outcomes that I wanted. I'm like, but that was such a valuable lesson to help me realize, all right, don't do that again when you're going on, you know, doing this now.
Yes.
So yeah, we always need those experiences.
Where I think when you're a high achiever and you're a competitive person, you and I are both that way. The word failure is just like there's just a gut knee jerk reaction when we hear that word.
Yeah,
And it was a saying for a lot, especially as I was kind of moving out of entrepreneurial, just grind hustle into more leadership. You know, what is to be a leader? You can only become a great leader if you're around people that allow you to fail forward as a leader, and
yeah,
forward is the important part of that. But it's a point of failure. Something no longer is working. It needs to be tweaked. It needs to be changed. It's not necessarily a negative thing, like you failed, it ends. Like, no, it failed. How do we make it better? How do I make myself better? What do we need to change in the system? So, surrounding yourself with people that allow you to fail forward, including yourself, allowing yourself to expect that, like, there's going to be things that break, there's going to be things that don't work. And I've only failed if I don't get back up again. Um, it's just I'm grateful for those things, and it's really cool to have this perspective at 48 years old that wow, some of the most painful things are some of the things I'm most grateful for.
so
And if you can remember that when you're in the middle of the painful thing, when it feels like, why me? Why is this happening? If you can bring yourself even for a few seconds to, my gosh, this is probably going to be one of the things I'm most grateful for in my life. That's like a superpower.
really is, really is. Okay, well, let's kind of just recap because we didn't
Yeah.
get to do this last week because we had our guest.
Yep.
What have you been up to? What's Tara Stone's world been looking like? I mean, I know, but for
Yes,
the
I know you
audience,
know. Pivoting from what I was doing with the corporate core values and executive coaching and leadership, which of course is still very much within me, but needing to make a big shift in how that was being delivered, and then asking myself what direction I wanted to continue in. And right, I always have this, I can always default back to transactional real estate because I did it for so long and I made really great money doing it. So the truth is the bills have to get paid. And if I keep shifting in what's going on with how my career looks, now I've been shifting because of integrity for myself. Um, it's still, my bills don't care about my integrity. My bills care about getting paid. So really looking at, okay, what do I want to do? And I need to get in action. So currently, without giving away too much, I had started to turn away from real estate in the fact that I was really working with more companies that were not real estate based. I still have my real estate clients that I was coaching, but starting to work with, many multiple different types of industries. I was not excited about real estate the way I had been, for the past 20 something years. And I was looking for opportunities and exploring what was out there and things that were aligned with me. Yeah, either the pay really sucked or it didn't get me excited. And I need to be excited. And something came up and I was like, oh my God, like I have been working my entire life to fulfill what this role needs. Like this is me, between real
When
estate
you
and
when you shared what the role was, and I looked through it, and I was like, "This is Tara Stone. Like, this is
it,
exactly."
wild, right?
Might as well
And
just put an ad out and say "wanted" and put your picture there. Really.
how the coolest thing was that not only is it in my wheelhouse, but the company values what that fulfilling that role in a very equalized way, right? Like the pay is conducive, the structure of um, performance-based income, right? All the things that speak to the entrepreneur, real estate, salesperson in me, plus all the things that speak to this just love and the fuel that I get from really helping people achieve success on their own terms and full life success, not just successful bank account, not just successful career. So in the midst of that, and I'm getting to a point here because I wanted to share about the need for references in your life. And Ben's oldest son, I had gone to pick him up from football yesterday, and of course, as we do as parents and older, wiser people, I said to him, "I want you to understand the power of being able to write down someone's name, phone number, and email address for someone else to call and ask about you." And the importance of not burning bridges, the importance of operating integrity, even when that means leaving relationships, leaving situations. The way that you act when things are good and successful is great, but how you show up when there's challenges, when there's relationships that need to be severed and people need to go their separate ways, both professionally and personally, that's your reputation. And going for this role, it's an intensive interview process that includes 8 references to start. And then, as you know, because I named you as one, they then ask those references who else they should talk to. So I got another email last night for 3 more people's information. And I thought to myself, that's pretty cool that there's 11 people out there and hopefully there's more, but that know me personally and professionally, and I don't have to worry about what they might say about me. Even when the interviewer asks them, what could she improve on? Where could we help her develop more strengths? It's not about someone just thinking that you're perfect, because none of us are perfect. But the importance of having people that you can lean on and references in your life, because I'm experiencing another situation where someone has lost 2 jobs and cannot get another job, probably because they literally have no references. They cannot name anybody in the past probably 10 years. They certainly can't name 11 people. That would be a good reference because of how they've left or what they've done. And talk about a credit score. Like, your credit score can stop you from getting loans and a house and cars and everything
Oh, I
else.
know.
But your reputation score, that can stop you from getting things that you
Yeah,
want.
I mean,
But
yeah, they
yeah,
say your net worth is your network. And that
yeah.
really is true.
And not your network, but the relationship that you have with your network. Because there's a lot of people in my network that I could put their name down and they would speak positively of you, but do they really know me? Do they know my grit? Do they know all those parts of me that say, like, someone like you, when they call you to have a conversation, you can speak about me personally, professionally, at my worst times, at my best times. If you don't share your life with other people in all of the good, the bad, the ugly, you will never have a base of references that can really speak to who you are, which can make or break you.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, and I was speaking to a 14-year-old yesterday, like it starts now. How you treat people, how you act, how you leave relationships when the time has come, you have to work on it right now.
Oh, totally. I can think of at least be able to name 8 people, and I'd even throw in people that I trained years and years and years ago, haven't seen them or haven't really spoken to them that often.
Yeah.
I know exactly that, that to your point, I can trust them. I don't have to worry about what kind of questions they're going to get, and they know me because
Yes.
I was vulnerable with them and they got to know me as a person. A lot of them knew me when I was a kid, in my 20s.
Yep.
I was just thinking about it the other day, just a random tangent. Just, some of my clients have been with me for 13, 14 years now. One of them were in our 15th year. I'm like, I was in my early 20s. Like, their kids were little teenagers. I started training one of them because their daughter was having a bat mitzvah. And now she's, doing her master's somewhere in her mid 20s. It's crazy. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
Life goes by so quick. And
Yes.
I'm glad to have gone through that time, to your point of having relationships that,
Yeah.
actually do mean something. I've never been one for being, having to have tons of friends, and, I don't care about the popularity contest. I'd rather really have deep relationships and have a bunch of acquaintances that I don't really know and they don't know me.
Yes. It's, in transparency too, I was coming from a position where I couldn't name really my last person that I worked with because we ended amicably, but there were a lot of nuances in that didn't
Right.
necessarily want to be, talked about publicly. And I think that's a red flag to potential clients, partners, like, oh, I can't talk to the last person that you just worked with. Why not? But if you have 20 other people that you can name, then
Yeah,
that
exactly.
becomes really a non-issue. So it was just kind of a cool process. How did you find the process of being the person named as a reference?
Well, I mean, I text you afterwards, and I think I hear it all the time, right? You want to give people their flowers while you know them, and but you don't want to be doing it at their deathbed or at at their funeral.
Mhm.
Like it was really nice just to say how great you are, and being asked certain questions and makes you think about, where, what you're good at, where and it was like, yeah, I want this person in my life because that it makes me a better person. And that's honestly one of the things I said, just your drive and your energy and just your passion for bringing out the best in people is infectious. Like every time, part to your point earlier, why we do this podcast, I come away with it motivated for the week.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's why you need her on the team, because she's gonna, even if she doesn't bring anything kind of which she will, but doesn't bring any great tactics or anything like that. Just having her around those people,
Mm.
it's gonna bring. I'll call myself. I mean, you kind of said anyway, but
Yes.
it's, yeah, it. And as I said to you, I just wish that we did a better job as a society of telling
Mm.
people how great they are. Not blowing gas up their ass or anything, but just
Yeah.
tell them what you think about them. Don't
Yeah.
wait for them to need a job to do it.
We should do a
Because a lot of
challenge.
us walk around thinking that people don't actually have those thoughts about us.
Yeah.
And just think about how much more motivated and, a more, meta, broader sense. Like, I think a lot of pain people inflict on others would disappear because they'll feel better about themselves.
Yes.
And some people just need to hear that, you're really good at this.
Yeah.
Just something like that.
Two great points. Well, one, I think we should do is like a challenge, and you keep saying give them their flowers. Like, what if we did like send flowers for the next 7 days? And by sending flowers, we mean make a phone call or send a text or leave a little handwritten note or even send a handwritten note
Yeah.
to one person every day about what you love about them or what you see in them or a little congrats on something. And I don't want to go to this segue yet, but talking about consistency and compound effect, It starts so small, like, people get overwhelmed immediately, so they just don't do it. You don't have to write a big, long love letter to someone. It can be a quick, "You know what? I was thinking about you. You just make my life so much better." Whatever it might be, something simple, little.
Yep.
One person a day for the next 7 days and see what happens.
Yeah, or even just if you in when you're interacting with people, like someone who's ringing you up at the store,
Mhm.
like mention how great they bagged your stuff, or just little like it's a silly example, but just something like that,
She
just
bagged me well.
might make someone's day. But I
Yes.
mean, that's a little different to what we're saying. But yeah,
Yeah.
just just give people their flowers because I think that will just have a net positive effect on everybody.
It requires interacting.
Yeah,
It requires looking up. It requires noticing what's going on around you.
yeah,
It requires being a little bit vulnerable because you might think you're saying something nice to someone. Ben waved at like this biker in the gas station. The guy, if looks could kill, like Ben would have been dead. Like he was being nice, and the guy was like, "Dude, why are you waving at me?" I think Ben gave him the peace sign or something. He's getting used to driving the Jeep. It requires a little bit of vulnerability. Um, so cool challenge if someone wants to take it.
yeah,
The other thing I wanted to touch on is that people I kind of instinctually, I have this initial reaction like, "Oh gosh, I know my friends and my colleagues are so busy. I feel bad they have to take time out to, get a phone call from this person, set up a meeting." And then I quickly remember like I love when I'm a reference for someone else. I don't mind
yeah,
taking that time. I appreciate that I'm that person for them. So, um as much as it's great for someone to you to be able to name someone as a reference, it's a cool thing for the other person that they get to be that person for you, and then, of course, you get to be that person for them.
definitely.
All right. So think about who you have in your life. Maybe write them down. Could you write down 4 people for a personal reference right now and 4 people for a professional reference right now?
I'm sure it would be hard for quite a few people to think about that.
Yeah.
And then even I think the knock on effect of that is what am I doing at my workplace, for example? Like why do I only really talk to this one dude?
Mhm.
I should branch out and have relationships with everybody here, kind of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and do it by how can you bring value to other people's lives? Like what's important to them?
Yeah,
All right. Let's talk about consistency. I'm gonna let you
thanks.
kick that off because it was your idea.
Yeah, well, I was two prongs kind of why it's been on my mind. One was, launched my practice beginning of the month, and concurrently launched a brand new social media profile for it. And it's been I think 3 weeks I've been doing the socials, and again, early days, but it just everything feels different with it because I've just been that much more consistent posting,
Mhm.
and maybe it's because it feels genuine, but
Yeah.
the main reason is why I've been able to be consistent. I was watching Alex Hormozy do his book launch for his latest book, which is very good. I'm reading right now. Um, he did over 3 days.
Yeah.
I tuned into a bunch of it, and I think a lot of us, especially entrepreneurs, we spend so much time listening to information, thinking we're going to hear this nugget of gold. It's like, oh, that's what I've been waiting for. Like that's going to
Mhm.
be the thing that blows my. That's why I haven't succeeded yet because I haven't done that. And it's been a slow burn for me the last kind of 12 months, I'd say. But it's just kind of come to that point where these people aren't doing anything special. They're just doing things consistently. I mean, even for Hormozy's book launch, right? He sold I think 3.3 million books. Like
Yeah.
broke Guinness World Records for the biggest launch for a non-fiction book.
Wow.
I think he even outsold a ton of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter books. But to lead up to that point, it'd be easy to say, well, he's got a huge personal brand. Of course, he's going to be able to do that. I was like, yeah, but what did he do to build that brand? How long did it take him just consistently posting content day after day? Even when I think he did like 400 something episodes of his podcast before he had more than like 100 listeners. There's something that might be a little low, but it's something crazy like that.
Yeah.
And just every time I'm listening, I've started to tune out a lot of the things I used to go and seek out to listen to. A lot of the the business gurus online and stuff. I'm just like, I've heard this before. It's just about doing it, showing up, doing it every single day.
Yep.
And you kind of kick yourself a little bit, because I can point to, exercise as being something I've always exemplified that. Like, since 16 years old, I've worked out 3 to 5 times a week in the gym.
Mhm.
Never been a problem for me to build that. And I'm seeing the fruits of that in my late 30s, where I'm still in great shape,
Mhm.
right? I don't have to start from where a lot of my peers are starting from when they're trying to get into shape. And I'm like, why haven't I used that as an anchor for other things in my life?
Yeah.
Like, launching a business or whatever. You know, it's just consistency really is. Jared James has a great kind of saying: consistency is undefeated.
Yes.
It
Yes.
really is. It's just doing these small things over and over and over.
Keyword small things. Um, our podcast is a great example of consistency. I
That
don't know
that
what
was
our,
another thing I was thinking about. Yeah.
I mean, you called us the little engine that could, right? We're
Mhm.
top top 10% nationally or worldwide. I don't know
Yeah.
what those stats are, but it's not because we have so many followers and subscribers, although we love them. So please like and subscribe. It helps us. Just the fact that we have not missed airing an episode in what are we at?
This is either 39 or 40.
Okay. Puts us in the top 10% of all podcasts.
Even more than that, 90% of podcasts don't even have 20 episodes.
Yeah.
No,
So
sorry, 15 episodes.
and that's where, they talk about hard work beating talent, right? There's some people that just have a natural talent for something, or they have a natural leg up on something, and that's awesome. And you know what? Good for them. But just because you don't have that same talent doesn't mean that you can't have that their success or greater, but you can only have that if you're willing to put in consistent work. And I won't even say hard work, because when you're passionate about something, it doesn't feel like hard work. It's freaking hard work, but it doesn't feel like that. If you're not being consistent about something, you really have to ask yourself, are you committed to it? Are you passionate about it? What's driving you with this? Um, what are the limiting beliefs you're having around doing it consistently? Are you trying to, you see this with working out. People want to lose weight. So what they're in the gym every single day for 2 weeks and then they're done. They're burnt out. Whereas if you had gone to the gym for 30 minutes every other day and continued that for 2 years, you would have gotten way better results than just being in the gym for 2 hours every single day for a month.
Yeah. And I think back to my point. I think I've said to your point or to my point a bunch this episode. I don't know why that's my like phrase of the episode, but maybe I'll throw it into the title somehow. What I was saying earlier about what kind of triggered this thought of with consistency too, and some of the journeys I've been on that have led me here. I look back to my real estate days where I try, and because real estate, having been in both seats as an agent and then as someone selling the solutions to the agent for a number of products, there's so much out there. It's so easy to have your head turned like, oh, that's what I was needing. And I was changing CRMs every 60 days. I was changing my lead sources instead of just sticking. I did Joshua Smith's boot camp in 2014 or 2015 when I first got licensed.
Yeah.
I just done what he said in there, and it's all about just doing these things every single day, doing the cold call, doing this, and you don't get that instant gratification, so you give up.
Yep.
Or you think, oh, well, I've got to do this now instead, and it's
Yep.
just you think with some of that stuff, and I'm glad I'm not, because I'm in love with what I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
But where would my life be if I had just been consistent
Right.
with those things?
Yeah. I think it's important to be authentic with what you're being consistent to.
Yeah.
And I think about that word because I think of cold calling. I did $200,000 to $300,000 in personal income like clockwork every year with my real estate business towards the end, right? Not in the beginning. And I was not a cold caller, but you have to be consistent with something. You have to be consistent in nurturing relationships and building new relationships. Now, if you're a realtor, everyone's telling you got a cold call expires, call the FISBOs. That's if you are willing to do that, if that is authentic to you, if you have the energy and bandwidth to sit down every single day, and I mean every single day, at least Monday through Friday, for 60 to 90 minutes and do your calls, then no doubt you will have great success in real estate. For me, that was so draining, but I knew I had to get the appointments still.
Yeah.
So learning what worked for me and how to have a system around that I did consistently was how I built my business. And it was not around cold calls. So I did some cold calling, but that was not the majority of my business. But the consistency is relationships. So you don't have to do it the way that the person online is doing it. But if you're not going to do it that way, you have to figure out what you are willing to commit to and then do it. And if it's not working for you, meaning you're not doing it, you have to figure out, are you really committed, or is it not in alignment with who you are? Because there's a million ways to create new relationships.
Yeah, it's pretty funny you mentioned the authenticity part of it because, so my goal is, and I think I've said this publicly, my goal is to help 1 million people,
Mm,
right? And I understand that, yes, could I blow up my socials to get to a place where I could help 1 million people?
hmm
Yeah, but that would take a shit ton of time and money.
hmm
So one option I have is, I'm now working with FDN, who I'm certified with, who I'm a practitioner through, to help enroll other FDNs,
Yeah.
other practitioners. And the role requires a lot of reaching out to cold leads and some warmer leads and stuff. And in all of my other roles, real estate, selling other products and services, hated cold calling. Would get nervous before, like, be dreading it. This I haven't once felt nervous. I'm just like
Yeah.
start the calls when I'm starting to call, and that's it because
Yep.
I love what I'm talking about, and there's a
Yes.
real actual purpose behind why I'm calling.
Yes. Yes.
So, and I'm quite upfront with some of the people I'm talking to. I'm like, yeah, I'm a practitioner myself, but I can't do it on my own. I need help.
Yep.
Let's do it.
So key. So key. I said this in my interview. I said, I can sell horse pee in a bottle, right? As long as I believe in it. I'm not a salesperson like a used car salesman, right? And I'm sorry, used car salesman, but if I don't believe in the product, there is no way I'm going to have success in it. It could be the craziest, weirdest product in the world. If I believe it's going to help someone and it's actually good for them, then, like you said, bring on the calls. Like it is my
Right.
duty, it's my responsibility to have these conversations. So if you're not feeling motivated, and again, this is not about being motivated or feeling like it. I was just on another podcast and they were asking me about, my mindset, my attitude, and, waking up and it was something like waking up and being positive mindset. And I was like, well, hold on a second. There's a lot of mornings I wake up and I am not in a positive mindset, but I know how to get myself there. And it's never do I feel like doing this? Like laying in bed. Now, every once in a while, yes, that is an option. But otherwise, it's just not even an option. And if I wake up in a shitty mood, I got to go, okay, what do I have in my tool belt? I hear Paolo go outside for 10 minutes and take a walk. Okay, I can do that. I can tell Alexa to put on music for myself. I can do some nervous system regulation. Like it's not about feeling like doing it, it's about knowing how to get yourself into action, especially when you don't feel like it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, morning routines are a great example of that. Just even if you don't feel like it, I told you, I mentioned before, I read the Bible every morning. I get the what's it, Pro Bible 365. They get email comes through with the passages you're reading that day,
Mhm.
and I haven't missed a day. And there are some mornings where I'm just like, I'm still half asleep. Like, do I have to really? Because it's not the easiest read, you
Sure.
know, and just do it. There's no reason you can't do it. It's just about being consistent with it. And the minute you start making excuses, the consistency just falls off.
Yeah. So what are your tactics, right? What do you do for yourself when you don't feel like it? Is it a mental game? What do you, like I mentioned a couple things. I know you're big on on circadian rhythm and getting out into sunlight.
Yeah.
What do you do? What do you go to?
I think it's really getting clear with yourself on what the purpose is for doing something, or what your purpose is, what's
Mm,
the end goal.
mm-hmm.
Because, and I've had a hard time, my 20 years in health and wellness of like, why can't you just do that? Like, I'm telling you, this is what you need to do. Why can't you just do it? And I think, and what I've realized and what I've incorporated into my practice now, like the beginning of all of my programs, a lot of it's just mindset stuff,
Yeah.
because you cannot change behavior unless your mindset's right. And I think what I should have been doing is trying to get to the bottom of, why do you really want to do this? Like, losing weight, for an example, is not why you came to me. You
Mm-hmm.
said it is, but it's about what happens when you lose the weight, and
Yeah.
all of that, what's important to losing weight. And being not having the experience or the kind of wisdom I have now, I didn't ask those questions.
Yeah.
And I think that's why people aren't able to, if someone comes to me and says, I'm really stressed out and I'm not sleeping, I will get up in the morning, go outside and look at the sun for
Right.
10 minutes.
Right.
That's a lot easier said than done from someone who's never done it before.
Yeah.
So how do you get them to do it? So, right, well, how is the stress impacting your life?
Right.
And how are you showing up for the people you care about? And then they start to be like, okay, yeah, maybe I should try that.
Yeah.
You know?
Sometimes you have to be so sick of yourself, right? You have to be so sick of hearing your own excuse, because that excuse becomes the crutch, right? And it's way easier to go, well, I'm just not a morning person. So when you're like, well, why don't you just get up and go look at the sun? Well, I'm not a morning person. Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
serving you. That excuse, that identity of not being a morning person is serving you. It gets you off the hook for all the things that you don't want to get up and do in the morning. But at some point, you have got to get so sick of hearing yourself say that and not getting the things you want in life that you're willing to say, to let go of saying, well, I'm not a morning person. Well, who says you're not a morning person? Says who? Says you? Okay, well, what are you doing? I hear the train. What are you doing
Oh, it's gonna get louder.
that supports that?
Hopefully, I
Right.
can mix that out in post.
Maybe. If you're not willing to let go of that excuse, because you can have reasons or you can have results, the results
Yeah.
you want. You can't have both. Now you can have reasons and shitty results. Yeah, that's your reasons, your excuses give you the crappy results you don't want. Um, and it's interesting when you're like, why can't you just do that? Especially like when working out. And I don't even want to say it comes easy to you, but it's something that you've been able to do for a long time. It's like y- that same mindset that we know you have, that is in you, that propels you out of bed to go do your things every day, is the same mindset that when someone says you should cold call for 90 minutes every single day to build your real estate career, why couldn't you just do that?
Yeah, and that was because I hadn't got clear on my purpose there. I was just telling myself it was to make money,
Yeah.
instead of what effects is that income going to have on my family, or whatever.
Yep.
So it really is just getting clear on that.
Hmm.
And I think, yeah, we all tell ourselves these excuses, but if we just stopped and said, all right, why should this be important to me?
Hmm.
It'll make it a lot easier for yourself.
Yeah. Or why is this important to me?
Yeah.
Why is this important to me? And then what type of person does this thing, right? That's the beat you have. Who do I need to be to do the things that that person does to have the things that that person has?
Yeah, and I mean that's exactly what I kind of realized. That's just a better way of framing it, with all these great business people I look up to. Is they just, what did they do? They just did things consistently,
Yes.
and they didn't give up every time they heard no or got ignored.
Yep.
And I think people who create content, I'm speaking to these people now, we can get lost in this. It's really stupid, because I used to say this all the time to people I was coaching or consulting with in real estate, when I was trying to help them with their nurturing and stuff. That's what I sold. And I should have been listening to myself. Like, we get caught up in the vanity metrics of how many likes and comments and views,
Yeah.
but it's really just about doing it consistently, because half of the views weren't listening,
Yep.
they weren't paying attention. And we can kind of tell ourselves, oh, should I say that again? I feel like I've been posting too much.
Yeah.
There really isn't too much, you know,
No.
because most people, it goes back to that spotlight effect. Most people are not paying attention.
No. And they're just even with what you posted today, I watched the first like 10 seconds, but I was driving. I flipped it off not because I didn't care.
Yes,
Um
exactly.
I have to tell you, you're like vanity metrics. So now that I'm monetized on Facebook and they did deposit into my account on the 22nd, $40.17. This is just what I'm doing naturally, but now I am being more purposeful about it. So it's the vanity metric is actually turning into a monetized metric for me. Now
Yep.
I'm not being someone that I'm not on that, but I am thinking about, oh, let me shoot this, let me take this photo to post this. Let me be a little bit more purposeful about it. But then looking at the analytics, men versus women, ages, how long the videos are watched. Now I'm getting paid on the video because it was watched, but it might be a 50-second long video. The average person is only watching it for 7 to 10 seconds.
Yep.
So that, it's like you that's the vanity part of it. Like, yes, you put out beautiful, great content, and I wish that someone wanted to watch it through. But the fact is if I put that same video out every single day for the next 2 weeks, almost no one would be like, she already posted that. I already heard her say that. Because if you just cut it up a little differently, like we do with the podcast, it's the same information. It's
Yeah.
just chunked into different things. Um, you almost cannot over communicate good messages. And a good message to me is anything that you believe in.
Yeah.
If you believe that this is going to help people, if you believe this is going to bring joy, if you believe this is going to cause a ripple effect in a positive way, do not stay silent about it. Post consistently.
Yeah.
People are not going to get, and anyone that gets annoyed, good. Like let them go. Let them get annoyed. They can go somewhere else.
Yeah. They have to follow you. Yeah. I posted a reel yesterday morning or 2 days, Tuesday morning, I think it was. Just about this common challenge I've seen where people fail to start because they think that everything needs to be perfect, or they stop because things aren't perfect. And I almost redid the video again because I wanted to talk about
Want it to be
the
perfect.
compound effect. And well, I know it wasn't perfect, but I wanted to talk about the 80-20, 70-30 principle of just showing up and doing something, even if it's a
Mhm.
little bit,
Mhm.
just that you're always going to win that way.
Yeah.
No one showed up on one overnight.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, what we see on socials is you just see the after, you don't see all of the before.
Yes.
And I think that may have been, I heard from, and I've listened to a lot of his content, read all of his books. I think that was something, almost he talked about some of the challenges he had as he was growing. And I think that's
Mhm.
what made it really click for me. I was like, even this dude,
Yeah.
you know, he had to eat shit too.
Yep. One of the thoughts that came to my mind when I was driving was now I was thinking about the caveats to it as well, but basically everything that you have in your life, everything that you like about your life, and even the things you don't like about your life is a result of what you've been consistent with.
Yeah.
So if you have an undesirable result, what do you consistently do that gives you that result? And then do the opposite or figure out how to make it a change. And I find people go into overwhelm because they think, oh my God, I have to do this every day for the rest of my life or the next 20 years. Like really chunk it down. What is the one small thing you can do? What is the one small thing you will do? Try it for the next 7 days.
Yeah.
See what happens. You don't have to commit to it for the next year. And I recommend that you actually don't. That's fine if you want to set that intention, but be fully committed to it. Even if you say it's the next 2 days, I'm going to do today and tomorrow. Cool.
Yeah.
Start there, but just start.
Exactly. Just start.
Yep.
Just start. And even just, I know we've got to wrap up in a sec. Just how you show up as a parent, how you show up as a partner, how you show up at work.
Yep.
People respond to someone who's consistent.
Yes.
Your kids aren't going to respect you if you're not consistent. They're not going to listen to you if you're not consistent.
You're
If
not safe. You're not a
Yeah,
safe. If you
exactly.
don't show up with consistency, you are unsafe for people.
Yeah, Now, there's a difference between becoming complacent and consistent.
Yeah.
Now, you don't want to be the same and be a bum, but
Mm-hmm.
you want to.
Yes and no. I agree with you with that. But I would say this, I use the soup Nazi from Seinfeld as an example. And I would use this when I was in the restaurant industry. The soup Nazi, if you know from Seinfeld, you go in, you're going to get soup that's amazing. The food is consistently good, and you are most likely going to be spoken to rudely consistently by the staff. But you still choose to go because you know that's the expectation. It's consistent. The food's good, you're probably going to get insulted, but you make the choice to go. Now, if you went one day and the food was good and you got insulted, and they were really nice, but you went back and the food was good, but then you got insulted, and it's always flip-flopping. You never know what you're going to get. You don't know what to expect, or sometimes the food's good, sometimes it's not good. We all know we'll go to places where the food's not the best, but we love how we're treated there. We're treated, the service is consistent no matter who we get. If I would say it to people with work, if you're going to show up in a shitty ass mood, you better show up like this every single day, because then it's our decision to decide if we're going to keep you or not. But when you're in a good mood one day, bad mood the next day, flip-flopping back and forth, no one knows what to expect from you. That becomes very unsafe for people to be around. So be consistent. And then
Yeah,
people
I
get
like
to
that.
decide.
I think that's a great place to end. Just be
Right.
consistent. Think
Be
about where you're
consistent.
not showing up consistently, and what you are doing consistently, and think about how that has impacted where you are now.
Yeah. All right. So a couple challenges in this if someone wants to take it. One, write down 8 people, 4 people that could be a personal reference for you, 4 people that could be a professional reference to you. Second, give flowers for the next 7 days. And Paolo's flowers are, hey, great nail polish color. Hey, thanks for being here today on Labor Day working so I could come in and get my groceries. Hey, buddy, you know what? I woke up thinking about you and I just want to know I really appreciate you. Give flowers for the next 7 days. And that could be a text message, a phone call, a handwritten note. Look at what you have in your life right now that you like, and what are the things you're doing consistently to get those results, and what's going on in your life right now that you're not happy with, and what are your habits that you're consistently doing getting you those results that you don't want. And then pick one thing that you can change and do every single day, very small, for the next 7 days, and see what happens.
Like that.
I miss anything?
Huh?
Think anyone will accept our challenges? Any of those challenges? There's a whole bunch of cool ones in there.
And they all benefit whoever does them, right? So
I'm going to give flowers over the next 7 days. It's something I do pretty naturally anyway, but I'm going to be really purposeful about it every single day.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Whew. All right, buddy.
Good
Good
chatting.
episode. Until next time, friends.